Princess Leonor arrives, crowd ordered to step back. When a future queen steps out, the world expects grace, calm, and admiration. The sight of a royal motorcade, the waving flags, and the smiling faces of adoring citizens are scenes engraved in tradition. But what happens when the moment doesn't unfold as expected? What if the warmth of the crowd is met with strict commands, firm orders, and a sudden shift of energy? Princess Leonor's most recent public arrival carried exactly that shocking twist. Crowds had gathered in eager anticipation. They came to see the young woman who symbolizes Spain's future. And yet, in an instant, the atmosphere changed. Security moved. Commands echoed. The crowd was ordered to step back. Why did this happen? And what does it reveal about Leonor, her safety, her image, and her royal destiny? From that single moment emerges a story far larger than a public appearance. A story of tension between love and duty, between tradition and change, and between public adoration and palace protection. Today, we journey deep into that extraordinary day, unpacking the emotions, the history, the hidden details, and the impact this single event has had not only on Spain but across Europe and beyond. The day began in Madrid with the type of atmosphere one would expect when a future monarch is scheduled to appear. Streets lined with flags, families gathering early, reporters jostling for space. There was excitement, yes, but also a sense of pride. Leonor's presence has always been more than symbolic. She represents renewal, hope, and a modern Spain. The people came to see their princess, to connect with her, to feel that intimacy between monarchy and nation. But as the convoy approached and Leonor's presence neared, the atmosphere shifted. Security officers stepped forward. Barricades were adjusted. The unexpected order was given: step back. Not once. Not twice. Repeated firmly, as though the safety of the princess depended on absolute obedience. And it was at that moment that the story became something more than ceremonial. Why did this command shock the world? Because in royal traditions, access to the people is sacred. Royals thrive on proximity, the wave, the handshake, the eye contact that transforms monarchy into something tangible. Yet here, the gap widened, not narrowed. For many in the crowd, it was confusing, even hurtful. Was this a security threat? A precaution? Or a glimpse of how Princess Leonor's reign might differ from the openness of previous generations? To understand this, we must step back ourselves, not physically, but historically. Leonor is no ordinary young royal. At just 19, she carries the legacy of centuries. The Spanish monarchy has faced moments of fracture, of distrust, of rebuilding. Her father, King Felipe VI, has fought tirelessly to restore stability and dignity after scandals threatened to shake the very foundations of the crown. Leonor is the embodiment of that restoration. Every appearance, every gesture, every word she speaks is measured against the weight of her future. So what happens when love collides with duty? When the warmth of the people collides with the cold calculation of security? On that day, the world glimpsed it. Leonor herself remained poised, her smile unwavering, her composure intact. Yet behind her serene expression, there was something telling, a recognition that her life is not her own, that every step she takes is surrounded by invisible walls of caution. And yet, the paradox deepens. For while the order to step back may have created physical distance, it also sparked a surge of curiosity and emotional closeness. The people asked, why? What's happening? Is there a danger? The curiosity loop tightened. And in seeking answers, they drew even nearer, not in distance, but in attention, in loyalty, in shared emotion. Security experts later suggested that the order was precautionary. Perhaps an unexpected surge of the crowd. Perhaps a risk detected only by trained eyes. But for the public, it was about symbolism. Would Leonor be a queen who keeps her distance? Or one who finds ways to bridge it, despite the risks? Let's not forget, Leonor is also a young woman, navigating love, personal growth, and a destiny she did not choose. Her relationship with Prince Christian of Denmark has captured attention, sparking both excitement and controversy. And here again, her appearances are scrutinized. Every smile toward him, every whispered word, every glance is woven into a narrative of royal romance and political alliance. But with that comes scrutiny from both families, from governments, from royal watchers across Europe. The order to step back, then, becomes a metaphor. For her private life. For her freedom. For the barriers that inevitably surround a future queen. The world wants intimacy, but monarchy demands distance. The people want closeness, but duty enforces caution. And Leonor walks the line between the two. Now imagine being in that crowd. You arrive with excitement, with your children, with flags in your hands. You position yourself at the front, dreaming of a wave or perhaps even a handshake. Suddenly, the command comes. Step back. Your children look confused. You hesitate. You obey, but the magic feels interrupted. Yet when Leonor finally steps out, radiant in her appearance, poised beyond her years, your heart still swells. Because despite the distance, despite the tension, she embodies something untouchable. She represents not only Spain, but the idea of continuity, of stability, of unity. This is where Leonor's power lies, not in whether she touches every hand or greets every face, but in her ability to hold the gaze of a nation even from afar. To command attention without speaking. To inspire loyalty without closeness. To make distance itself a tool of fascination. And as the event continued, the tension eased. The crowd, though initially unsettled, soon adjusted. They waved, they cheered, they admired. Leonor, with a gentle nod and a sincere smile, reminded them why they had come. The story was no longer about the command to step back, it was about the arrival of a princess who, despite challenges, continues to embody hope for a monarchy in transformation. But what does this mean for the future? Will Leonor's reign be marked by greater caution, stricter barriers, more controlled appearances? Or will she find innovative ways to bring the people closer, redefining what monarchy means in the 21st century? These are the questions that linger, and they are precisely what keeps the world watching. For every mystery about security, there is another about love. For every curiosity about duty, another about family. For every distance enforced, there is a deeper closeness created through story, speculation, and emotion. This is the paradox of royalty, and Leonor embodies it more than ever. And so, the moment that began with commands and confusion ended with fascination and renewed loyalty. The people stepped back physically, but emotionally, they leaned forward. They wanted to see more, to know more, to believe more. And that is the power of a future queen. Princess Leonor's arrival that day was not just about an appearance, it was about destiny unfolding in real time. A reminder that royalty is not only about tradition, but also about transformation. That even in moments of distance, the bond between monarch and people can deepen. And that every command, every gesture, every step, carries within it the weight of history and the promise of the future.